to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing we're going to do is we're looking for authorization to live stream these meetings. We're looking on getting this either on Facebook or YouTube, I believe this, Kate? On YouTube, activated for the meeting. We'll be ready to turn on the recording once the board votes on it. So I'd like to make a motion to...
Before you make that motion.
Yes.
So I thought we were going to discuss this a little bit further, but I mean, there were some items in here, like how is this all going to be set up? What's the format of this? Like, is there public commentary or no? Is it going to be recorded and live streamed, or is it recorded and then posted online? What are we doing?
So the Zoom meeting, I thought as of the last meeting, we were going to make it so people at home, if they wanted to be able to watch the meeting, YouTube as well, I thought it would be live streamed, archived there as well. I think in the past, during the COVID, we had public interaction. I believe, Mr. Garlish, you interacted with it via Zoom in the past during COVID, is that correct?
I don't believe we had any interaction when we did COVID.
Not that I remember.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we did. But okay, we'll skip over that. So I didn't mind the public interaction. You just got to be a resident of the township to participate in these meetings here. I think public input would be good.
So it's just local. We're not. Are you saying you want to do it so that anybody in the world can call into this meeting and participate in it, or what?
No, I just said that I think as long as you're a resident of the township,
Okay.
you can participate in these meetings.
Okay. What's required for retention? Like, what do we have to do to save these, or is it YouTube sufficient?
Well, it's kind of a new area. The retention requirements is a public meeting. It's a recording of a public meeting. It's not the official minutes.
Okay.
So it's not the same, but it does consider actions of the board. It's a record of actions of the board, so there will be some requirements that might apply. I believe that Mr. Picardi is looking into some of the requirements as it relates to the right to know laws and those types of requests for that information. But you know, once a municipality puts its meetings on a site like YouTube or some other streaming platform, it's not uncommon. I mean, you see it all around, not just Pennsylvania, but other states and municipalities. It's there. It's out there for the public. But it's not the official record, the minutes of the official record of the actions and deliberations of the board.
Okay.
So that interaction is something that we have to look into just a little bit more.
Okay. Is that going to stop us from proceeding with this tonight?
I don't believe it'll stop you from making the authorization
Okay.
to live stream.
All right. How much, what's the labor add for staff? Have we not looked into that?
I don't believe we've gotten that far. The only thing we've done is made it so that we could record tonight. But it's set up with no public commentary because we don't have staff to man that.
Okay.
I believe, as Tracy has said, it's the two of us right now, so we'd have to look at staffing to have someone take all the public comments and everything else.
Okay. So
Or how that whole procedure would play out.
we don't have a dollar value in this. We don't have this process figured out yet.
As far as I know, no. I refer you to Tracy.
Okay.
From my experience during COVID and after, with municipal meetings, zoning hearings and things like that were done on a platform like a Zoom, and that were also live streamed for the public to be able to attend. The general public was able to watch the live stream. If they wanted to participate, there was a requirement to request the ability to participate, and that allowed staff to determine whether the person was either applicable as a party or had standing to participate, or was a resident of the township. Things like that could be put in place to minimize the requirements of staff on the night of the meeting. Those are just some suggestions from my experience.
Okay. All right. What do we think our viewership's going to be? I mean, what if nobody's watching this thing? We take it, we put it online, and nobody's looking at it. We just continue doing it, or is there a backout plan, or what?
Why would there be a backup? I don't care if 2 people
Okay,
watch it. How I look at it is, this is a public service to our community.
okay,
You know, not everybody can be here. You got elder residents who can't be here. Right
okay.
now, we got some big items on the table we're discussing about today. I'm sure public participation, you know, might pick up a little bit. Even if it's 2, I think as a taxpayer, they should have a right to find out what's going on in this community with
Okay,
their board of supervisors. That's just my feelings on it.
right. How many calls and emails has the township itself received requesting this? I think the answer is none. Okay. All right. Bill, you said.
I can say we had a resident, sorry, Lisa, I can say we had a resident at the last meeting that asked when it was gonna be done, they've been waiting for
Right.
it. So, I do think as we get, minutes out and notifications out, and if we post it on the website, we definitely will get, participation in people that wanna
Okay.
view live stream.
All right. And when you guys you were knocking doors, you said hundreds of people were asking for this, right? Hundreds?
I don't know what number I used, but I do know that was a conversation at every door, and I didn't have one person tell me they thought it was a bad idea.
How many emails did you get about it?
I have no idea, Sean.
All right, because I mean, I've been knocking doors since 2018 in this township, and it's never come up, like once. I'm just saying. I just wonder where all of a sudden all the demand has come from. I think here's my concern. I think the desire to record these meetings isn't for the benefit of the township. I think it's to make political attacks. I mean, pretty much the meetings were started being recorded when people started bringing politics into these meetings.
I don't believe that for a second. I believe when the board was, you know, I think this is, again, a political attempt on your place for fodder, and I don't think it has a spot in our boardroom. However, I will say, a lot of people felt like they were being deceived by the past board, hence 2 new supervisors being elected.
Right. So, I mean, I think July 8th was when the first recording was taking place. I think we had Mark come in that first time.
If you mention me, I will speak up.
I'm not talking to you.
You just did.
I'm not talking to you. So,
I will defend myself, Sean, if you're going to mention my name, because I have a lot to say to you, buddy.
We all do.
just so we're clear,
Yeah, we'll be clear.
Mark,
Sorry, I apologize.
we're not doing this. Let him do what he wants to do.
Okay,
That's all.
you're right, I'm sorry. I
just for
apologize.
clarity, Mark, you go to the Montgomery County Democrat Committee, Area 15, Municipal Chairs.
Yes,
with
I do.
Mark Nolan. We have endorsements from 2021 from that committee for Bill Carafa and Bill Landman. We have endorsements from that committee from 2023 for Bill Landman and Lisa Fisher. You know, I got this old letter from you online. It says that you were contacted by the Democratic representative, Mark Nolan, on 7/11/2021. Here's pictures of Mark in May of 2022, pulling candidate signs out of the ground at the polls. Here's some more. Here's the judge of elections telling him not to do that. And here he is setting up your signs at the polls. So I think that the background on this is a political agenda. But are you sure you want to move forward with this?
So what I'm going to say is, those photos you have there, you also sent them to the county for Mr. Carafa stating that he had done some things at the polls. And after a thorough investigation by the judges down there, I believe Mr. Carafa was found not guilty of doing anything.
Are you
So
sure?
excuse me for your photos op that you're trying to do here with these residents. I find it in poor taste, Sean. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I've won with Democrats, Republicans, independents, non-affiliates, and your party. You lost on your own accord because people lost faith in this board. So I don't care that you don't want a camera in here, Sean. I don't have a problem with people
I'm not
looking at the
saying that.
decisions I'm making
I'm just
for the
saying.
reasons I'm making them. I think this opens up clarity for everybody to see.
Right.
And I think this looks poor on your part, Sean. I do. I really believe this looks bad for you tonight. I think you should just say, hey, I want to be transparent with the community, or I don't.
Yeah, I think especially now, it's important to be transparent with the community.
Okay.
So, that's what you want.
I find this childish and completely unprofessional on your part, Sean.
Have you read your posts online?
Sean, this is an Upper Frederick Township
Yeah.
board meeting. Has nothing to do with a political campaign. What are you doing? You should be embarrassed for yourself. I'm embarrassed for you.
Oh, well, I'm embarrassed for you, Bill. But if you want to make the motion, go for it.
Okay, so I make a motion that we do publicize these meetings. Whether it's streaming live to, I think we should stream it live to YouTube myself, because not everybody has Facebook. So I make a motion to stream it live to YouTube. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Chairman, you cannot make a motion.
Really?
You have to have a motion from the floor.
Lisa?
You can run the meeting, but you
I'm
can't make a motion.
I'm having trouble here, but did I hear Sean second it? Or I heard Bill make the motion, but did Sean second it?
I did.
Yes, that's fine. Okay, great.
All in favor? Bill?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
When do you want that to start?
As soon as we can get it all up and running. I thought we just established that there was things that parameters he wanted set in place. I don't have a problem doing that.
Okay.
Okay. Any public comment?
Yes, I have one.
Come on, Mr. Kelly.
All right, last meeting,
Yes.
I brought up the fact that I wanted to find out if you had any, applications for this development coming in. Correct?
I think you asked. I believe Mrs. Tackett told you no. But I've
Right,
seen
yeah.
concept plans, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. But now, I also said, you mentioned that you were going to stop this.
As you told me, I said I would stop.
And here's your proof right here.
Okay.
This is your post, is it not?
I don't know. Let me see, buddy. This is the laminate picture
I'm
one.
gonna give this.
This is a flyer.
Yes. But if you read, I have them. Now, what I'd like to know is,
You gotta wait, Don. I gotta read this because I don't.
My main thing, you can go right to the last page.
Oh, okay.
And right there, the weird highlighted in orange. And read to it what it says right there.
Says stand up to developers.
Right.
Yeah, but in the last meeting, you accused me of saying I was gonna stop this developer, and I told you I never said that. I
Well,
couldn't.
if you really look up the definition of stand up to,
Get out of here.
Waste my time.
you're telling me to get out of here now?
With that accusation, are you
Squishy
kidding me?
words.
Well, I asked the lawyer.
Okay, so stand up to, does that mean I'm gonna stop? Is that what that means? I'm gonna stop development if I stand up to a developer?
So, he's allowed to make a public comment.
I get
on
that.
agenda items or not.
Sure,
This isn't necessarily the time for a response to
completely agree.
their comments.
But can I ask you just for clarity? I don't mind, I'm just wondering, does stand up mean, I said I'm going to stop? Is that what that
I can
means?
tell you that attorneys have made an awful lot of money in determining how many different meanings a particular word is.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Now, my interpretation is you were going to stop it.
Mr. Kavanaugh, if you should have reached out to me for clarity or read
I don't have
anything.
to. I've heard you
No, you
condemn
Okay.
every board member on here
Okay,
in these meetings.
okay.
You were going after them, so don't sit there and be smug, because honestly, I don't particularly care for you, for one thing.
I think everybody could tell that, Mr. Kavanaugh. I think
guess
we
so.
could tell that from the last meeting.
Yeah, but I mean, just remember, it goes around, comes around. That's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely. Okay.
That's not a threat.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Captain.
Go sit down.
Hey, who are you? Can you, if you, yeah, you wanna get up here, get up here.
I'll state my
Okay,
name.
George Jones. George Jones.
And I just don't like the whole tenor of what's going on here. We're here for a township meeting, we're trying to get business done,
Yes.
and we're rehashing election things and political things, and I just think that we need to stick to the business
yes.
of the community.
Yes, we
Period.
do.
That's it.
Well, then, maybe.
Does anybody else have any other public comment? I'm not sure your name, sir.
Dave Hanson.
Mr. Hanson.
I live over on Locust Lane. I'm a past supervisor. Can someone speak during the point when you talk about the schoolhouse later, or do I need to do it now?
Mr. Hanson, I'll give you plenty of time to talk. Please.
When we're doing it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Then I'll
yes,
sit back down.
sir. Okay. Mr. Garlis?
Dave Garnish, live on Becker Road, resident of the township since 1992. In your two campaigns, I'm not criticizing your campaigns,
Okay.
you said that you were going to stop backdoor meetings because you thought it was unfair and inappropriate. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Backdoor deals it was.
backdoor deals.
There you go.
The day you were sworn in on January 2nd, at the end of the general meeting,
Yeah.
you went into a closed meeting. Could you explain that to me?
The closed meeting, I can't because it had to do with a legal issue, I believe. You remember what the executive session was?
It was an executive session. And if I remember correctly, you took exception to executive sessions
That's how I remember it.
several years.
In both campaigns, you had issue with that.
Okay.
And that's your prerogative, but
Sure.
to get sworn in and then at the end of that meeting, have an executive session.
Sure.
Can you explain to me that?
I can, but I have to get the context of, so can you explain to them how an executive session happened, please?
So a governing body of a municipality, whether it's board of supervisors or commissioners, or borough council, has the ability to retire to an executive session, which includes just the members of the board and staff that are appropriate to the matter being discussed. It's typically limited to very special circumstances, whether it's pending litigation, a personnel matter, or acquisition of real estate or other property. If there is a deliberation to occur and a decision to be made as a result of that executive session, the board has an obligation to report prior to adjournment to executive session whether a decision will be made and whether they will be returning. If there is no decision to be made, they generally adjourn to executive session for that particular reason that is announced prior to adjournment, and then they don't return. If a decision is made subsequent to that executive session, that decision needs to be made at a public meeting. Okay, so executive sessions exist for the benefit of a municipality that needs to discuss legal issues, where they will be transparent and discuss what was done, but the typical example that we refer to is the acquisition of real estate. Say a municipality needs to acquire property for a particular public benefit project. If that discussion happens in a public meeting, it can disadvantage the municipality because property owners who may be in a position to benefit from that acquisition, the price will go up. Right?
Got that.
So that's the typical reason that we give for executive session related to real estate matter. And I think it goes without saying that legal matters or potential litigation is something that should be discussed by the board, not with the general public, but any decisions made related to that are announced in a public meeting. So that's like the 2-minute overview of what executive
Okay.
sessions are for.
So my comment,
Nope. So hold on. So now let me touch on what you're saying here. That's the basis of an executive meeting. But there's also supposed to be an explanation of what the meeting is for. So the meetings in question back then were never told what they were for. That's what I believe I was stating back then. Now, you're talking about something in 2021. There was another campaign after that. And now I'm filled with PSATs classes and a binder full of things here. So I can't remember exactly, Dave, what it was pertaining to at that time.
okay,
But I will tell you, I will look into it and get back to you. I don't mind doing that. You know what I mean?
They'll probably have that in here, Bill.
I'm sure you do.
It says, let's end the private executive board of supervisor sessions. If we are doing the public business, let's include the public. There's probably a couple others similar thing.
There's no doubt in my mind. But again, as I said to Mr. Garland, I don't believe they were being stated what they were for. It was the issue back then. As I said, Mr. Garland, I'll get back with you. I don't have a problem. As in my message to you prior, I told you, even if I got here without anybody's support, I'm still gonna do your work. And I'm here today doing your work, and I give you my word, I'll continue to do it.
That's what I want to know.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Any
Thank
other
you.
public comment? Yes, sir, Mr.
Yeah, Kevin Murray from Big Road. I would like to speak about the schoolhouse if necessary when that item comes up on the agenda.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Katus?
I digress in moving on from this particular problem.
Sure.
We have a situation over, I'm on Woodchuck Lane, by the way, but there's a situation over there where there's an abandoned mobile home.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
An abandoned mobile home that's totally unsecured. And what complicates it is the property record shows that the owners are from Delaware. And I guess there's some conflict in how to proceed with this.
Sure.
But essentially, the place is totally unsecured. There's no door. There's two entry doors. One is missing, the other one is completely open. That's one problem. Number two, it's an absolute fire hazard. Number three, there have been people in it, and all you have to do is look inside, and you will see graffiti on the walls inside. And if you look at read the graffiti, obviously the person or persons doing this have a serious anger management issue, so it's another potential problem. My last contact with zoning is that the zoning officer replied that I do not know how to handle the situation. I will discuss this situation with the township once he returns from vacation in 2 weeks. We're going back, I believe, March of '22, when we first asked for relief for help in this situation, and we're no closer to resolving this than we were then.
I can't speak intelligently on it because I don't know
Mark?
what exactly is going on. Sean, do you know what's going on there?
No, I have to go
Uh,
back.
I've
Mr. Fatosa, what's the
corresponded.
address? Do you know the address?
I corresponded recently with the last week or two with Ms. Tackett,
Okay.
and I sent her
She's aware.
photos. And when the photos were sent on the 4th of February, this response from the zoning code enforcer came back February 9th, so it's been 5 days after she received it.
So she does know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Is that Mr. Koch or is that you know? That's Mr. Koch. Yeah. Any other public comment?
Along those same lines,
Yes, sir.
the old Perky Evanville Hotel,
So I did go by
it looks
that.
like a dump.
So
And there's a woman living in her trailer.
No, she's living in the truck, not the
van.
trailer.
Yeah, she's living in the
Well,
van. I just saw. it the
either
other
way.
day in the van.
Yeah.
Van.
I did see something about that on here, Ms. Kate. Do you have an update on that there?
I do not know.
And I know this it's been brought up in public comment for at least the last year. The last time I believe it was brought up was by my wife,
I believe you're right.
so
Did I-
it's just, are we planning on taking action on this?
So I did read something about it in here. And she did say that she I believe, was living in the van. She was